p.m. For those of you joining us on YouTube, I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside Matthew Morgan, and we're getting set to go live on Facebook because we have a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued, valid, I believe, until 10 o'clock for parts of southern Clark and Monroe County. So stand by as we are getting set to go live. I'm going to set this up. I'm doing things a little bit differently tonight because we had some technical difficulties earlier getting on Facebook Live. There we go. And again, this is a new tornado warning for far southern Clark and also far southwestern Monroe County. Current time 9:35 p.m. So again, thanks for watching. If you are on YouTube, you're about to see the intro over on the Facebook side of things as well. All right, stand by. Starting coverage on Facebook right now.
Live from Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Megginson. Severe weather coverage starts right now.
Got a new tornado warning until 10 o'clock for parts of southern Clark County. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside executive producer Matthew Morgan. And if you're in Gainestown, you need to take action to protect yourself as we have a possible tornado very near Gainestown, Alabama in southern Clark County right now as of 9:35 p.m. Possible tornado is coming into Gainestown, and this warning technically does include a part of Monroe County out near Choctaw Bluff, but really it looks like this is exclusively going to be an issue at the moment anyway for Clark County. And so first thing I want to do is tell you exactly who's involved in this new tornado warning. This is the only one that we have on the board, by the way, and this is going to be valid until 10 o'clock. And so Clark County is a very large county, but this is specifically for Gainestown and areas south of Suggsville in Clark County. This includes Alma and also Marshall's Bluff. That's right there on the Alabama River, just kind of showing you the polygon here of what we've got going on. This does not include Gosport. This does not include Watley. Jackson is out. Grove Hill is out. Thomasville is out. Thomasville is way up here in the northern part of the county. This is for Gainestown, and this is, again, in Clark County, Alabama. It seems like Clark County has really been the hot spot over the last few hours in terms of tornado warnings. And again, watching this situation very carefully as we could have a possible tornado at Gainestown right now in the next 5 minutes or so. So here's the deal. If you know somebody in Gainestown, Alabama, this is a small community south of US Highway 84 in rural Clark County, very near the Alabama River, you need to call them. I realize it's now 9:37 at night. Some folks will have already gone to bed, but you need to call and wake them up if they are at Gainestown specifically, as we have a possible tornado on your doorstep coming into Gainestown over the next few minutes. That thing is wrapped up. It really strengthened over the last hour or so as this thing came out of Mobile County, moved into Washington County, and has since obviously moved into southern Clark County. And so southern Clark County near Gainestown is under the gun from a possible tornado. And it should be emphasized that this warning technically does include a part of Monroe County, but quite frankly, this doesn't really include any geographic, points on the map. This is some of the land that's down there near the Alabama River where, farmers have some cows out there. You can kind of look south of 84 and see some of that. Just off the 84 bridge near Claiborne, south of Claiborne Lock and Dam. So really this is an issue for Clark County. And so this is an issue for Clark County, Alabama exclusively at this point. and specifically near the community of Gainestown. We are encouraging everyone who's in Gainestown, Alabama, to be in a tornado-safe place. What that means is being on the lowest floor of a site-built structure, away from windows and away from doors, putting as many walls as you possibly can between you and the outside world. We need you to grab a helmet. That is for adults and that's for children as well. And so can't be stressed enough, protect your head, as this could be a brief spin-up tornado coming into Gainestown, Alabama. Matt, if you will, for the folks in Gainestown, let's put up our graphics of what to do in a tornado warning, because this is what you need to be doing now if you're in Gainestown. Through here that connects really Gainestown to the outside world. And Gainestown United Methodist Church, the church sits on the west side of that road, but if you live within 5 miles of the Methodist Church at Gainestown, you need to be in your tornado safety place now, right now. Make it happen if you're in Gainestown. This is not going to last too long at all, and really this is the only warning around. In fact, I believe, let's go over to our watch warning map here. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, this is the only warning that we've got anywhere at this point, but this is in effect for southern, really southeastern Clark County, Alabama. And this is on the board until 10 o'clock, so 19 more minutes on this. Don't think this is going to be a long-lasting tornado warning, most likely. But I tell you what, that thing is wrapped up and it's right over Gainestown. Matt, if you'll take us over to the radar scope source, please. Yeah, and the Weather Service is noting, you can see it there. I mean, that circulation is certainly present and it could be producing a tornado, but what we're not seeing, thankfully at this moment anyway, we don't see debris that's being lofted. Let's go back over to LD1. We'll show you our debris tracker. And you can see we have just a consistent rain mass there, and there could be a tornado down. But the good news is we're not seeing the, significant violent type signature that we saw, about 2 hours ago over in the western part of Clark County, where we had a likely large tornado do quite a bit of damage near Coffeyville, just south and east of Coffeyville. And we know it did damage because not only have we had radar confirmation of debris being lofted, we've also had viewer photos. And thank you to everyone who sent in photos from that area. We certainly do appreciate it. We passed some along to the National Weather Service. So this small storm is moving toward Gosport and Purdue Hill. So if it holds its strength, and I am not totally sure that it will, this is your possible tornado right there at Gainestown now. And it's moving like that. So on that trajectory could be an issue near Purdue Hill. If you're familiar with Purdue Hill, you know that you go, if you're traveling eastbound on 84, you go up the hill and you get to the post office, and it used to be a Chevron gas station, not sure what it is now, but there's the post office, there's the carpet store right there, I believe it is, right there in Purdue Hill. You go down the hill, you get to where you turn in to go to Alabama River Pulp. And so those are the areas that would be next in line to see a tornado warning if we get a new one issued for this same storm. And so that's something we're going to be watching for over the next few minutes. Matt, have you seen anything in the way of damage reports over the last few minutes? Yeah, I haven't either. And look, it was interesting because earlier we had the tornado warning just before sunset. And I was hoping that we would be able to, get some reports in before the sun went down. But obviously this one is a totally different ball game because this is totally dark in the middle of the night. almost, and this thing is in a very, very rural part of Clark County. But we know that there are folks who live at Gainestown because we hear from you. We appreciate all the folks in Gainestown who regularly comment on our posts, and I do see that, and so thank you very much. And that's why we're here. We want to protect you and help you be protected and get to a safe place. And the call to action is at Gainestown exclusively. This has nothing to do with Watley, nothing to do with Jackson, nothing to do with Leroy. Same thing at McIntosh, same thing at Grove Hill, same thing at Thomasville. Nasty storms are coming in from the west into those communities, but keep in mind, those storms, thankfully, are below severe limits. And so hopefully it'll stay that way. But right now we've got this one supercell type storm. It's kind of a mix between those storms that we saw yesterday, those small, very small storms, and a supercell. It's not really a giant, classic supercell. This thing is small in nature. And sometimes these things can ramp up and produce a tornado. The thing is holding on. Right there is your circulation. So we'll see if the Weather Service decides to extend this into Monroe County. Technically, the warning does include a part of Monroe, but, there's no house, no residence in the polygon in Monroe County. It's farmland. So right there near the Alabama River, I might add, in those river bottoms, very near Claiborne, just south of Claiborne, really. And this possible tornado has really passed Gainestown at this point, and this is pushing up toward Purdue Hill. And so it's going to be interesting to see in the next few moments if the Weather Service decides to extend this. They very well could in a situation like this, but it's not, a slam dunk. There is circulation, no doubt, but it's not the most impressive thing I've ever seen. But regardless, we need you to be in a safe place if you are in far southeastern Clark County. There's the latest of the warning. I tell you, let's look at the whole map here, because there's your watch warning map. Look at how tiny that polygon is. I mean, the Weather Service has gotten so good at narrowing the polygon size, which is what we want to see. We don't want these big polygons, including people that don't need to be in it. And this one doesn't. It's a very tiny tornado warning polygon, which is great. And it includes places north of Gainestown. Out here north of Gainestown Methodist Church. This is, if you're familiar with this area, there's a tiny community. In fact, it's not even on our map, but it's called Barlow Bend. Barlow Bend, Alabama. The tornado, there it is, Barlow Bend. And you can see the polygon technically does not include Barlow Bend, but I guarantee you there are folks in this polygon that would say they live at Barlow Bend because it's so close. And so Barlow Bend, be in a safe place. Alabama River, you certainly wouldn't want to be on a boat at this time of night. On the Alabama River, south of the Claiborne Lock and Dam, south of US Highway 84, tiny, tiny tornado warning polygon. And the circulation is still there. It's hanging on. So we're going to have to see if the Weather Service is going to extend this. We will know shortly because the warning goes until 10 o'clock. But they're going to have to make a decision quicker than that because this thing's going to run out of the polygon. So let's do this. If you're in Purdue Hill or Gosport or Claiborne, right there at the top of the hill, or top above the river, you go up the hill to get to Purdue Hill. If you're near those areas, or ARC, Alabama River Cellulose, you need to be on guard. You may get a tornado warning next. We'll see what they decide to do. Current time is 9:48 p.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside Matthew Morgan is with me tonight. We thank you for your service, Matthew. And anything in the comments. I mean, this is one of those warnings that's tough because late at night, there it is. All right, we've got a new tornado warning to tell you about. So they have decided to extend the tornado warning. So that settles that. New tornado warning coming on the board for Monroe County. So the first thing we need to do is tell you exactly who is involved in this. And this is going to be a new separate tornado warning for parts of Monroe County, and this is going to be on the board until 10:15. This thing is racing off to the northeast at 55 miles an hour, wasting no time. The good news is this is going to pass north of Monroeville. So this is not going to be an issue for Monroeville. That is great news, but it is going to be an issue for the rural part of Monroe County, north of Monroeville, out in the Red Hills of Monroe County. Could be an issue for Tunnel Springs and Peterman in about 30 minutes. And so we're watching this very carefully with Monroe County. New tornado warning for Monroe County until 10:15. So first thing we need to do is tell you who's involved in this. If I call you out, you're involved in this new tornado warning that's valid until, is that mine? Okay, good. 10:15 p.m. So again, if I call you out, you're in. Peterman, Tunnel Springs, Franklin, Keith, also areas near Finchburg, Scratch Ankle, Fountain, Purdue Hill, Gosport, the Claiborne Lock and Dam is in. Same thing at Franklin, same thing at River Ridge. I think this includes Old Scotland. Yeah, there's Old Scotland. Here's Keith. Tiny place called Axel right there on the railroad north of Monroeville, Red Hills of Monroe County. But the good news is Monroeville is out. So if you're in Monroeville, this is north of you. Same thing at Mexie. If you're at Mexie, you're fine. Same thing at Frisco City and Excel, you're fine. Same thing at McGargle and Uri, you're okay. This is specifically for the northern part of Monroe County here in southwest Alabama. And this possible tornado is going to be in your zones very, very quickly. So again, be in a safe place if you are in northern Monroe County, north of Monroeville, including all the areas that I just called out. Possible tornado coming in from the southwest. Matt, any reports of damage? I have not seen any, and I suspect they're going to be pretty difficult to get over the next little bit, as again, we're in the nighttime now. Some folks are going to bed. If you go to bed, by the way, I'm good with that, but have a way to hear warnings. You got to have a weather radio or something loud to wake you up over the next few hours as we continue to have an ongoing severe weather threat here in South Alabama and Northwest Florida. Tell you what, let's look at the whole line of storms. Once this main batch of storms comes through your location, you get an all clear. We're not there yet, but we're well on our way and we're ahead of schedule, which is great news. But again, the reason we are here is this tornado warning that's in effect for now northern Monroe County, including Purdue Hill. That's really the first call to action. Claiborne, Gosport, right there in Clark County, just across the line. Beautiful country in through here down at the Alabama River. There's silos, there's beautiful pasture land and that sort of thing right there on 84. If you live near that area, be in a safe place. This thing's going to come up towards ARC, Alabama River Cellulose, over the next few minutes and be in Fountain and areas near Scratch Ankle in Monroe County. How about that? You like that? Scratch Ankle, Alabama. That is a unique place name, probably the most unique in our whole area. But yeah, Scratch Ankle is a place, and if you're at Scratch Ankle, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Same thing at Franklin, same thing at Fountain and Tunnel Springs. Also, Old Scotland is in the tornado warning. All right, let me look at a few other sources here to see what I've got going on. And again, if I go silent, just bear with me. We got 400,000 things going on in this studio. And let's see here. Looking at this, that signature is hanging on. It's broader than it once was, and that's great news. Hopefully it will continue to weaken, but hope is not a plan. We can't bank on that. And so we're encouraging everyone at Purdue Hill, Alabama to be in a safe place now. All right, lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. Make it happen right now if you're in northern Monroe County. This does not include Monroeville, but it does include northern Monroe County. And by the way, if you heard the noise there that just kicked on, that's our air conditioner. And so it was getting a little warm in here, had to adjust that. So again, possible tornadoes coming up on US 84 here, very near the Clark-Monroe County line, very near the Alabama River Bridge, right there on 84. Possible tornado is near there, and this is a supercell storm out ahead of the main batch of storms. Matt, I'm encouraged because this main batch of storms is not producing any warnings. The only warning we've got is this nasty supercell storm in Monroe County, and it's going to continue moving off to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. It's racing. It's moving along in northern Monroe County over the next few minutes. And let's see here. Just watching this situation very carefully. And again, the good news is we do not see any other evidence of any more tornadoes at this point. We could have more. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but there also is a chance that once we get done with this particular warning that you're looking at on the screen here in Monroe County, the whole night in terms of severe weather may be done. That would be great. But we can't bank on that. Could have a few more warnings. Not out of the realm of possibilities. I posted an update, a graphic about, I don't know, about an hour and a half ago now. And this is the zone right in through here where we are expecting the worst in terms of activity. And you can kind of see that red circled area in the tornado watch. That's the mesoscale discussion, and that tells us that this is the zone that we've really got to watch out for over the next hour. Again, possible tornado is now very near Claiborne and Gosport. I tell you what, that thing is very near the Alabama River Bridge. If you know where that is on US Highway 84, well to the west of Monroeville, that is where the possible tornado is. And again, Monroeville is fine, all right? Monroeville is fine. Mexie is fine. Frisco City, you're okay. The warning is north of you. And for folks in Tunnel Springs and Peterman, this circulation may not even make it to you. That would be a best case scenario, and that is possible. But the circulation is still there for now. And again, I don't really see anything in the way of damage reports coming in, that's good news, but I'm also not totally convinced that we would be getting reports from this specific area. You know, there are some issues in terms of cell phone coverage in this specific part of West Alabama as well. Now, specifically where the tornado is right now, near the River Bridge, I know for a fact, because I travel through there a good bit, going to school presentations and whatnot, cell phone service is fine right in through there. And so with that said, you can be the hero. You can be the hero tonight. Let your folks know if they're in a tornado warning. If you know someone at Claiborne or Gosport or Scratch Ankle or Fountain, let them know. Call them, wake them up. Blame it on me if they get mad. We want folks to be sheltered in Monroe County right now as we have this possible tornado moving off to the northeast. The thing's right at 84 right now, right on Highway 84. And this is coming up towards Alabama Highway 41. Tell you what, if you've never been from Monroeville to Camden on Alabama Highway 41, that is a beautiful drive, very hilly, beautiful terrain. But that terrain is under a tornado warning right now in northern Monroe County, and we need you to be sheltered in the Red Hills of Monroe County right now as we have a possible tornado coming in from the southwest. Seeing any reports? Yeah, I'm not either. And again, that's good, but also not good in that we could have a tornado down and we may not know about it because this is a very rural part of West Alabama and it's the middle of the night. So again, I can't stress enough, Fountain, Scratch Ankle, Tunnel Springs, Peterman, be in a tornado-safe place. Possible tornado coming in from the southwest. Clearly, this tornado is going to miss Monroeville to the north. So Monroeville, you're going to be fine. Frisco City, all clear for now. McGargle, Uri, all clear. Good news, we'll give all of Clark County an all clear. This cell has clearly passed to your east at this point if you are in Clark County. So again, watching this cell in Monroeville very, very carefully. And we do have some other storms across the region that are under severe limits, but this is the main game in town at this point. We have a tornado warning for northern Monroe County, including Tunnel Springs. Be in a safe place. Lowest floor, well-built structure away from windows and doors. And I see that the Weather Service has updated the polygon here. Kind of a weird deal. This other piece of the polygon is no longer valid. So Clark County, all clear. You've got storms coming in, but those storms are under severe limits. This is a tornado warned storm now exclusively for northern Monroe County. Northern Monroe County, possible tornado moving to the northeast. And I'm going to send a message to the Weather Service to see what their latest thoughts are on this. Again, just tracking this possible tornado in Monroe County. We will see if the Weather Service decides to extend this downwind. If they do, it would be an issue for Beatrice. So putting you on notice, Beatrice, you would be next if this warning is continued. And I tell you, that circulation is hanging on. It really is. So be in a safe place in Fountain, Scratch Ankle, and ARC right now. All clear for Gainestown. All clear for Clark County. Yes, storms are moving in, but this supercell is the one that we care about right now because it could be producing a tornado in northern Monroe County. All right, it is now 11 o'clock in the east. It is 8 p.m. out west, and it's 10 o'clock in South Alabama and Northwest Florida, where we're tracking a possible tornado in northern Monroe County. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside Matthew Morgan with me tonight. Thank you, Matthew, for being here. And we have an ongoing tornado watch for several counties across the inland areas of southwest Alabama: Washington, Clark, Monroe, Conecuh, Escambia, Covington. You're involved in a tornado watch. Same thing in Butler, Wilcox, and Crenshaw counties. Tornado watch for you until 3 a.m. This is the main line of storms that's about to come through our region. Once this comes through your area, you get an all clear. But we can't do that just yet for anyone across the region. Let's go back to our storm in Monroe County, and we'll look here to see exactly where the tornado is. Possible tornado right in through there is going to be your tornado, where that red and that green come together. That is the possible tornado. And tell you what, let's see, tornado warning is canceled. Yeah, that was the Clark County storm, or Clark County warning, I should say. And so they're continuing this tornado warning in Monroe for now. And again, this is going to be in effect until 10:15 p.m. Possible tornado at areas like Fountain and Scratch Ankle over the next few seconds. All right, next few seconds. Be in a safe place if you're in those communities. And again, just looking at our sources here, pardon me if I go silent. We're not leaving you. We're just analyzing some different things here to try to keep you safe in northern Monroe County. And I don't see anything that would support damage, which is good. But again, that doesn't mean that damage hasn't happened. This thing came out of Clark County and is now coming into northern Monroe County. And again, let me stress, this is going to pass to the north of Monroeville. Peterman, if you're at Peterman along Alabama Highway 21, I realize the tornado is still technically to your west, but we can give you an all clear now in Peterman. This tornado is clearly going to pass to your north if you're at Peterman. So now, this is an issue for Tunnel Springs and Fountain and Keith an axle. And Old Scotland, there's a Presbyterian church called Old Scotland Presbyterian Church out there at Old Scotland in Monroe County. If you live near that, you need to be sheltered. All right. This could be an issue for Beatrice. Beatrice is not in the warning right now, but it could be in another warning in the next few minutes. I see we have a new special weather statement for that Boeing segment coming into Thomasville. That's going to have some loud storms, but not a tornado most likely. All right, so loud storms coming into Thomasville, not a tornado most likely. The only tornado warning that we've got as of 10:04 p.m. is in northern Monroe County. And again, I know it sounds like I'm being repetitive because I am, but it's a little bit easier to do this in the daytime because we get these pictures and videos and that sort of thing. It's a little bit tougher to do at night because we got folks asleep, and quite frankly, this is all we have is radar. So there's your possible tornado. Matt, if you will go back over to LD2. Again, 10:05 p.m. and watching this cell in northern Monroe County. We'll zoom in, and I want to shift over on this source. Yeah, it's still there. Do you have the radar scope source up by chance? Okay, let's go there. And that, all right, it's moved out of that, so that's fine. Let's go back over to LD2. And I wanted to restart this LD1 system. I tell you what, this thing may have a bounded weak echo region on it. Let's go back over to LD1 and we'll go in the box. What in the world is a bounded weak echo region? Well, it's a donut is really what it is. You can kind of see it here. If you look like right in through here, there's an area of lower reflectivity. And that's often indicative of a circulation in this scenario. And so in this case, if we look at velocity, yeah, that thing could be producing a tornado very near Fountain. I'm very concerned about folks near Alabama Highway 41 near the community of Fountain. This is coming up on Old Scotland and Tunnel Springs over the next few minutes. This is north of Monroeville by about 5 to 10 miles. Very beautiful terrain out in through here, but that terrain and folks out there are under the gun. So if you're in these areas, please be in a safe place now, as we have a possible tornado between Scratch Ankle and Franklin moving off to the northeast. Again, Monroeville, if you are just now tuning in and you're in XL, Frisco City, Monroeville, you're fine, all right? You're totally fine in those communities. This is specifically up here in the northern part of Monroe County, coming out towards Keith, Old Scotland, and River Ridge. And there's also a community called Buena Vista. Yeah, Buena Vista is out of the warning right now, but just know Buena Vista and Beatrice may get a tornado warning if this thing continues rolling down the path that it's going on and holding its strength. We'll see if it maintains its strength, because if so, we may get a new tornado warning in a little bit for northern Monroe County. Polygon update there. We can give an all clear to Gosport, ARC, and areas near Claiborne. You're done with the tornado warning in those places. So all clear for Claiborne, Purdue Hill, and Gosport. You can go to bed as long as you have a way to hear more warnings that could happen a bit later. All right, let's go here, please. All right, and I do not see anything in the way of reports. I don't see anything in terms of updates from the Weather Service, which is good. We don't want to see any confirmation or anything like that. Let's go to our debris tracker. I haven't checked that in a minute. I don't think we would see anything there, but yeah, it's cleared. All right, no debris being lofted according to this. Now, keep in mind, we still could have a tornado down, very possible, but the signature on velocity continues to be robust while the debris tracker is not seeing debris being lofted. But it may be a deal, let's go back over to LD2. It may be a deal where there could be a tornado down, and it may not be lofting debris up to 5,000 and 6,000 feet. That's kind of where the radar beam is hitting this from Mobile. That's our local radar hitting this storm in Monroe County. Back over to LD1, please. Tiny tornado warning polygon again. We will see if the Weather Service decides to extend this. That thing is holding on. Yeah, they did. They just extended it. All right, so we got a new tornado warning to tell you about. This is going to be for northern Monroe and Wilcox counties in southwest Alabama, and this is going to include Beatrice. So again, Beatrice, you are now involved in an active tornado warning, valid until 10:45. So this is a supercell storm that has now moved through Clark, and it's in Monroe County, headed for Beatrice. Beatrice, be in a safe place. Buena Vista, be in a safe place. This will exit Monroe County out towards McWilliams, right on the Wilcox County line. And Matt, is that a tornado? Yeah, it is a tornado warning. I wanted to make sure it was a tornado warning and not a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is a tornado warning, and so we need you to be sheltered in Beatrice. And for folks in Monroe County, this is a new tornado warning valid until 10:45 for Beatrice. Be in a safe place. Possible tornado right now is at Keith, and this is pushing into Old Scotland and areas near River Ridge and Notches and Beatrice over the next 5 minutes. And so we encourage everyone in those communities in this new tornado warning to be in your tornado safe place. All right, let's go ahead and go here and show our folks what you need to do in this new tornado warning. It's been a while since we had a tornado warning in this part of Monroe County, Beatrice specifically. Look, if you can get underground, that is the best possible place that you can be. But we know that many of you, like us, can't. And so do the next best thing. Get to a safe place, lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors. Don't be out driving in this. This is a bad time to be out on the road as we have a possible tornado coming in from the southwest. You want to have a tornado helmet on, something to protect your head. Why? Because most injuries in tornadoes happen because of blunt force trauma to the skull region. So be in a safe place now if you're at Beatrice. Let's go back over to LD1. This is the only warning that we have on the board for northern Monroe County and southern Wilcox counties. This is valid until 10:45, this new tornado warning. And really, this storm is at Scratch Ankle and Alabama Highway 41 now, and it's pushing towards Keith and Beatrice imminently. So don't wait, don't play around with this thing, be in a safe place. It looks like this is gonna pass Tunnel Springs off to the west, but it's gonna be close. So if you're at Tunnel Springs, stay sheltered over the next few minutes. We'll guide you through this every step of the way. Let's go back over here. As we continue to track this possible tornado in northern Monroe County, kind of scan through some of the comments here. By the way, it's always helpful if you're watching this to let us know what's happening where you are, because you are our eyes and ears on the ground. And even if you are not directly involved in this tornado warning in northern Monroe County, if you are anywhere in Monroe County, let us know what's going on where you are. That is always immensely helpful to know what you're seeing and what you're hearing. All right, I see that the Weather Service has sent an expiration message. I believe that's going to be on the previous warning. Let me make sure of that. Yeah. So what they're doing, they're replacing this old warning with a new warning. And what that means is folks in Beatrice, Hines Farm, McWilliams, you need to be in a safe place right now as we have a possible tornado coming in from the southwest. Here's the good news. Let's talk about some good news for a change. Main line of storms extends from Thomasville to Chatham to State Line, Mississippi. All clear for the whole night in Choctaw County. The tornado threat in Choctaw County specifically has come to a close, and you'll be canceled out of this tornado watch in the next hour or so. Same thing in Wayne County, Mississippi. Once this line of storms comes through, you're done. It's coming in ahead of schedule, thankfully. Tornado warning, northern Monroe County, stay sheltered. Tunnel Springs, Beatrice, River Ridge, Notches, Old Scotland. Be in a safe place. Same thing in McWilliams, right there on the line at Wilcox County. Be in a safe place. Let's let me look at a few other things here, and I will loop that radar for you while we do this. Again, I want to thank everyone who has sent in ground truth reports over the last several hours. We certainly appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who sent in damage reports. That is immensely helpful as we continue to track this possible tornado in northern Monroe County, Alabama, coming into areas near Beatrice over the next few minutes. And by the way, for folks that have wondered, we are broadcasting live from Brewton, Alabama. That's where we're based. And so we are not involved in this tornado warning, but I have some friends in northern Monroe County who are involved in this tornado warning. And so please be in a safe place. If you're at Beatrice, lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors, no mobile homes, no cars. Don't be driving right now on Alabama Highway 21 or Alabama Highway 47. Those are kind of the main roads in that part of Monroe County. And just checking a few other things here. Matt, have you noticed anything lately in the comments of note? I haven't either. By the way, one thing I haven't mentioned tonight, if your power goes out, let us know about that as well. I have seen no power outage reports. Sometimes the power outages can kind of help us ascertain exactly what has happened. But the good news is I have not seen anything in the way of power outages back behind this storm. Now, again, it's the middle of the night. This storm may have produced some power outages, some damage, but we have not heard of that at this point as this thing continues to race across northern Monroe County. This is going to be imminently at Beatrice over the next really 2 to 3 minutes. So if you're in Beatrice, be in a safe place. If you know someone at Beatrice, call them, let them know possible tornado coming in from the southwest. And again, I don't really see any reports I can pass along at this point other than to say the signature is still there, but it's not as pronounced as it once was, which is good news, great news actually. Hopefully this thing is crossing a boundary and getting to the point where the Weather Service can hopefully get rid of the warning. I'm kind of looping the radar there, and you see this thing is now very near Keith in northern Monroe County. Here it comes. Let's watch it. And there it is. So Old Scotland and Keith, you're under the gun from this possible tornado right now. And this is going to be imminently at Old Scotland and Beatrice along with Alabama Highway 21 over the next few moments. Peterman, you're okay. I realize you were in the warning earlier. Peterman is out of the warning. All clear at Peterman. Clearly, this tornado will pass to your north. Same thing at Monroeville. You're out. You've always been out of the tornado warning. Tunnel Springs is right on the line. You technically are in the polygon, but I have to be honest in saying I believe that it's going to miss Tunnel Springs by a mile or two. I mean, it's going to be close. So I would stay in my safe place if I'm at Tunnel Springs over the next few moments. And keep in mind, we'll be able to give you an all clear in probably about 3 minutes in Tunnel Springs. But just as a course of least regret, hang out in that tornado safe space in Tunnel Springs. We can give an all clear at this point to Fountain and Scratch Ankle along Alabama Highway 41. Scratch Ankle and Fountain, all clear. The tornado threat has clearly shifted to your northeast. Possible tornado coming into Beatrice over the next few minutes. And this is a deal that has lasted a bit longer than I thought that it would. In terms of the overall structure of the storm, it continues to support the potential for a tornado coming into Beatrice over the next few moments. I am optimistic that this could be potentially our last tornado warning of the night for our local area here in South Alabama and Northwest Florida. There's a chance we may have a few more warnings, but there's also a chance we don't. So this may be it for the night. We will see. That line of storms back over West Alabama is weak. Yes, it's loud. Yes, it's proud. Yes, it's also weak, which is good news. Clearly, the strongest storm in town right now in terms of what we're looking at is this thing in northern Monroe County that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes or so, really longer than that. Beatrice being a safe place. Downwind of this, McWilliams, Hines Farm, areas near Hughes, Riley Crossroads, you need to be in a safe place as well. This is far northern Monroe County, away from Monroeville. Again, Monroeville is not included in this tornado warning polygon, but folks near Beatrice, you are included, and we need you to stay sheltered until we give you an all clear. It's not going to be long, I promise. If you've got kids in the bathroom with the helmets on, that's great. That's what we like to see, but I realize it's inconvenient. So, watching this very carefully, tell you what, Matt, let's go here for a moment and let me check a few other things. Y'all may be wondering, what is a few other things? What I'm looking at is our different social media platforms, Twitter, which is now known as X, Facebook comments, YouTube comments. Have you seen anything in the comments there? Yeah, I had. Say that again? Power outages? Where were those? Okay, all right. Okay, great. So that's actually here in this warning. So let's talk about that. Here, let me see. Okay, yeah, got it. All right, perfect. Let's, if you'll put me in the box, let's talk about this. We got a report of a power outage at Notches. And so Notches is in northern Monroe County, very near Beatrice. And that really is where the tornado could be right now, at Beatrice. And so can't be stressed enough for folks in Beatrice and Notches and areas near Buena Vista, be in a safe place now as we have a possible tornado on your doorstep at Beatrice imminently. The signature is not, as robust as it once was, no doubt about it, but this still could be potentially producing a tornado at Beatrice now. I mean, this thing is racing off to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. It's just moving like a train on a track, man. So be in a safe place in Beatrice imminently over the next few minutes. Possible tornado at Beatrice coming out towards Riley Crossroads in northern Monroe County. Yeah, and I don't see anything else at the moment that is particularly concerning. I'm kind of looking at that line on my phone in addition to kind of driving the radar display here. There we go, that's what I'm looking at. And yeah, I don't see anything that would support a tornado back in that main line of storms. And look, there's not even a warning in place for Clark or Washington at this point. So I am optimistic that once we get done with this supercell in northern Monroe, that could be all she wrote, per se, for the whole night, potentially. And color me happy to know that we could be done by midnight. Wouldn't that be nice? Not saying it's, for sure. We still may have more warnings, but I'm optimistic that we may come through the rest of it unscathed. We'll see. Watching this situation, though, at Beatrice, this thing is in far northern Monroe County, and this is going to be at McWilliams in the next 5 minutes. So coming up Alabama Highway 21 toward McWilliams in Wilcox County, Alabama, over the next few moments is this possible tornado. Let's show you the entirety of Monroe County. you can see what part of the county is involved. This is the northern part of the county. Beatrice and Hines Farm really are under the gun from this possible tornado. All right, here's some good news. We'll give you an all clear if you're at Tunnel Springs. All clear for Tunnel Springs. You are now done with the tornado threat at Tunnel Springs and points south, all right? So specifically, Beatrice points north, you're involved in the warning. Midway is out, but right on the edge. Riley Crossroads is in. There's Riley Crossroads, and that's where the possible tornado could be in a matter of seconds, all right? It's at Beatrice now. If there is a tornado, it'll be in Riley Crossroads in the next few moments. Let's go over here for a second. And the tornado warning was not extended. What you just saw there, they have clipped this polygon back, and you can see Beatrice is right under the gun from this possible tornado over the next few moments. I think this goes until, what, 10:45? Yeah, so there's plenty of time left for this thing to get on up into Wilcox County. Hopefully it will weaken and go away completely. The signature is broad, but there could be a tornado down, no doubt about it, in northern Monroe County. 10:25 p.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside Matthew Morgan, and we're bringing you live tornado warning coverage for northern Monroe and southern Wilcox counties in Alabama. It's middle of the night almost here, and let's show you the rest of the region. I'll tell you who's been quiet all night. Very well behaved today, unlike yesterday. Northwest Florida. No issues in Northwest Florida. We did have that EF1 tornado yesterday down in Pensacola. If you missed that, I would encourage you, go back on my Facebook page and watch those videos. Those are wild. You see an EF1 tornado that really ramped up in a hurry. And that could be similar to what we're seeing here in northern Monroe County. There may be a brief tornado, and you know, quite frankly, with the look like what we're seeing now, the tornado may be a bit larger than that. And so if you're at Beatrice and just now catching this, be in a safe place. Same thing at Hughes, same thing at Hines Farm, same thing at McWilliams. Be in a safe place. Yeah, and the good news, Matt, I don't really see anything along that line that is ominous at this point. I wonder if some of this air back here over West Alabama has been stabilized by previous storms. That is a possibility. So we'll see how these storms behave as they continue moving east. But again, the only reason we are here is this storm in northern Monroe County near Beatrice, coming into areas near Hughes and Riley Crossroads over the next few minutes. This thing started down at Gainestown. So let's see how far it's gone. I imagine it's been about 50 miles at this point. Tell you what, let's go back over to LD2, please. There we go. So Gainestown is right about here. The cell has traveled 34, now 35, 36 miles into northern Monroe County. And so, with that said, this is quickly going to be an issue in Wilcox County, near McWilliams and Watson's Crossing. And if it continues, it could be a problem for Pineapple as well. Not to be confused with Pine Hill on the other side of the county. This is Pineapple on the eastern side of Wilcox County. Possible tornado at Beatrice or very near there, perhaps now just to the east of there, coming into Hines Farm and Riley Crossing over the next few moments. Back over to LB1, please, sir. And again, this thing is right at Hines Farm at this point. All clear for Old Scotland, Tunnel Springs, Notches. All clear for Notches, Old Scotland, Tunnel Springs. You're done with the imminent tornado threat. Could have more storms later. Beatrice, we'll give you an all clear in about 5 minutes. And once this thing gets up into Wilcox County, the best case scenario is that the Weather Service will have enough evidence that the tornado is lifted and let this warning go. It's in kind of a radar area that's a bit hard to gauge because there are no active NEXRAD weather radar sites in this part of South Alabama. So the beam is hitting this at about 10,000 feet, not good. You're not able to see the lower levels at that point, in other words. So we'll see what the Weather Service decides to do with this possible tornado warning, I should say, for northern Monroe County. Again, coming into Wilcox County in the next 5 minutes or so. Good news, let's give Beatrice an all clear. All clear for Beatrice. All clear for Beatrice. Hines Farm, areas near Hughes, and even Old Texas is technically involved in this tornado warning. My dad, he hunts at Old Texas. It's where he goes to hunt. Good hunting land up there. And so Old Texas is involved technically in this tornado warning for the next few moments. And so again, all clear for Beatrice, all clear for Tunnel Springs, Notches, Old Scotland, River Ridge, Buena Vista, all clear. I realize the polygon hasn't been updated, but I'm telling you the tornado has passed, no doubt about it. And we will see what the Weather Service decides to do here. As we're watching this very carefully, I tell you what, that signature has held on, no doubt about it, but it's coming into a zone that really doesn't have the best radar coverage. I'm going to have a look at it from Birmingham real quick. Yeah, you can't really see it well from there. And we note that the Maxwell-Montgomery radar is down tonight, so that's not helpful either. We'll look at the Fort Rucker radar. I see the rotation, but it's not low level. Mobile is the best vantage point, clearly. And I really just have to be honest with you. There is rotation, but we don't know for sure if there's a tornado down. There could be, very well could be. But it's just very hard to know in this part of northern Monroe County where the radar coverage is not as precise. But regardless, we need you to stay sheltered at Hines Farm, Hughes, Old Texas, and McWilliams over the next few minutes. Let me not get so sidetracked from the messaging here. We want you to stay sheltered in those places. All clear for Buena Vista, Beatrice, and Notches. All right? Possible tornado is at Hines Farm. That is at the state road right in through there that runs up to Oak Hill. Again, just looking at this is very rapidly going to be up on Alabama Highway 21 right there near McWilliams and areas near Hines Farm in northern Monroe County where this possible tornado is right now. So watching this carefully, this is going to be coming into Wilcox County imminently, and we'll see if the Weather Service decides to extend this into Pineapple or even Butler County. They may extend this into Butler County. It's very possible, but it's also possible that they let this go because, quite frankly, the signature is not what it once was. But granted, like I've been talking about, it also is not very close to the local radar. So that's kind of makes it a little bit more difficult for a radar operator to issue a warning. So we'll see what they decide to do. Let's look at this storm over in West Alabama. These are general thunderstorms, not severe, all right? Not severe right now in parts of Clark and in Washington counties. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder, heavy rain, but no warnings right now over in that part of West Alabama. Yeah, and I have to tell you, I think the rotation has kind of broadened out even, and I think they just canceled the warning. Let me verify that. Yeah, they did. It's gone. All right, it's gone, which is good. So let's go here. That tornado warning is gone, and it's about to go off the screen. That's the best case scenario. Quite frankly, the signature was so weak, it probably should have been, canceled maybe about 10 minutes ago. But, the Weather Service has done a tremendous job in the last several years of getting better at probability of detection and false alarm ratios. And so I don't fault them at all for keeping this warning in play as long as they did, because what if it would have, become stronger? That is a possibility on a night like tonight. But to be clear, as of 10:34 p.m. on Wednesday evening, I'm Spinks Megginson with Matthew Morgan, and we're telling you all clear in northern Monroe County. Beatrice, everybody else in northern Monroe County, you're done. Same thing in southern Wilcox County. So glad to say the tornado warning is over. So here's what I want to do. Let's briefly work the line from north to south, just to say there's no activity that supports tornadoes at this point. Keep in mind, even though we don't have a tornado watch down here in northwest Florida or in Mobile or Baldwin counties, you could have severe weather overnight. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Greater probabilities inland here across southwest Alabama. Let me check the cell. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't see anything there. I was checking the cell in northern Mobile and Baldwin counties. Don't really see anything there. These are just spotty storms at this point in Monroe, Conecuh, Covington, and Escambia counties in Alabama. So just spotty showers, nothing to worry about at this point. And so, because we don't have any active tornado warnings, we're going to go back to covering storms in the Red Zone Weather app. And if we have more tornado warnings, of course, just like always, we'll come straight back on Facebook Live and YouTube Live to bring you the very latest. No more tornado warnings for now. All clear. The warning is over. Could have more tornado warnings later. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm Spinks Megginson with Matthew Morgan saying goodbye for now. We will see you soon.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.